Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. We made it another week down. Thank you so much for taking an hour out of your busy day to hang out with us and learn about more in the divination series. So, yes, thank you for the heart to let us know that you can hear us all right. So, kind of say hello to us, say where you're from. We love to hear from you. So I think so Tam is going to be sharing her screen. She's got some slides to share, and I believe it's going to be fully interactive event as well. Tam, you're going to answer questions as you see them like come up in the
Mhm.
chat and stuff. Okay, awesome, perfect. So without further ado, I'm going to shut off my video, my sound. So if you see that little black box pop up, Tam, you can just X out of that, and we're going to be ready to roll.
Alrighty. One second. Let me get this going here. Allow this time. Okay, you guys can probably all see my screen as I started on the wrong spot. One second here. I'm trying to change my thing and it's not working. One second, guys. I have to restart this here because I decided to start on the very last one for some reason because that was a great idea. Okay, here we go. Woohoo! Welcome to Pendulum Pathways. As you may already know me, I'm Tam, your lovely witch and divination, or diviner, as you should say. So I, first of all, normally love to start with a nice little thank you, of course, and slides. I like to give you guys as much information as possible when, especially because you guys are going to be doing this sort of divination at least on your own, if not for other people. So I want to set you up with as much information as possible for success for what you're trying to do. So what we'll do, of course, was I'll start with my little thank yous and whatnot, and then we'll just kind of get started. There will be a spot here in just a moment and a few slides. Of course, I'll let you guys know when that is too, and it'll be completely interactive. So what we're going to do is I'll ask a question. We're all going to hold up our pendulums at the same time. I want you to tell me in the chat when it's time, hey, mine swung this way. What was yours? And I got this, my answer for blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that'd be super duper cool because then it'll be one person asking the question, me, and then we're all going to see how our pendulums swing and talk about it. And then in the end, I myself am going to demonstrate to you guys like a few different questions with my pendulum as well. Learning how, seeing how I ask the question and how I watch it swing, how it moves for me. And then, and see if you guys can guess which question I asked, if it was true or false or yes or no. You know what I mean? So that'd be really fun. So it'd be like a 2-time interactive thing. Super excited for that. So without ado, and without further ado, I should say, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with my little thank yous and whatnot. So hello, my beautiful beings of light. I'm Tam, your resident tarot reader, medium, energy clear, witch, all-around enchanted guide here at Tam's Enchanted Emporium. That's supposed to say and witchy. So I'm so excited to welcome you into this cozy little corner of magic tonight. This is my cozy little corner. If you haven't met me yet and seen it, my plants, my crystals, my candles, it doesn't get better than that. My altar is just to the left. I mean, come on. So anyway, whether this is your first webinar with me or your familiar face returning for more, I'm truly grateful that you're here. So tonight we're stepping into the gentle, intuitive world of pendulums, a pathway of clarity, connection, and a little bit of cosmic curiosity. So take a breath, settle in, listen to me, not, read so fast, and let the energy around you soften. We're going to explore, learn, and play with intuition in a way that feels light, supportive, and just a touch whimsical. So thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. Let's open the pathways together and see what messages are ready to flow. Love and light, Tam. So the reason why I said those words in that second paragraph, taking a breath, settle in, let the energy around you soften, there's reasons for that. And that's because using a pendulum, it's super sensitive, yo. I swear to you, if you are a shaky person or if you're having high anxiety or like you're scared in a place or something, might not be a good time to use the pendulum because it's going to react to that. And you might get like a confusing answer. It might swing a little different because you're like, you know what I mean? Super shaky and whatever. So if you got the kit, many of the thank yous, by the way, for everybody that did get one, then you would have gotten, for this webinar, you would have chosen one of two options. The $10 kit, which had one of these 4-inch reversible intuitively chosen board and a resin pendulum, a lot like this. This one is turquoise, the little turquoise bead at the top. Or if you got the $15 kit, then you would have also gotten the same, intuitively chosen double-sided board, or you would have gotten a crystal pendulum with a charm. Of course, intuitively chosen. I tried to make them different. So they all had different charms and crystals, but the crystal beads, of course, match the bottom of the pendulum. So you would have also gotten a Palo Santo smudging stick. And there's a reason for that, all right, which we'll find out here in a minute. But resin is actually a really great material to start out with due to its lightness, okay? There's no room for error or an accidental swing with the heavier ones. Like this is mine, by the way, and it's quite heavy. And if you just, yeah, let me tell you, resin is great to start with because it's nice and light and airy, and you can see very easily the swing. There's just no question about its movements. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all up to you and your preference, just like all the other things. Using a crystal one actually will help to raise your intuition. I use Palo Santo as a smudge stick. I consider holy wood, and it goes out way easier, allowing for extended use. Y'all have no idea how long I've used this piece and how long I've kept it for. And I use it all the time. Like if I'm sitting here doing Zoom readings all day, which sometimes I am doing them all day, I'll light it real fast, smudge my stuff that I've got in my hand, boom, put it out in my little cauldron here. You guys have probably seen my little 6-inch cauldron. It goes out in like, 5 seconds. So yeah, definitely use that. Now let's get into all the lovely info of the pendulums, okay? How a pendulum works. Some people, okay, they think that you're swinging it, okay? I mean, obviously, if you watch somebody's hand, if they're doing a pendulum reading for you, it's very evident if they're swinging the pendulum. Some folks believe that it's their energy. If you're staring at the pendulum, that it also helps and you influence it to sway, but it really just kind of depends on what you've learned with it. So how a pendulum works. Pendulum works through a blend of micro movements, I know, right? From your subconscious, your energetic field, and the natural pull of gravity. By the way, I meant to put this in here as like a little side note. If you live in a high energy place, like ley lines or, ancient mounds or temples or by your place, if you were so lucky to live in somewhere like that, I would not be sitting here. I would definitely be out there. But anywho, then pendulums and dowsing rods, they're going to be a lot more, there's going to be a lot more movement, a lot more strong pull for them. There we go. So when you ask a question, okay, your intuition is actually what's happening, and it's sending tiny little signals all throughout your muscles and those neural pathways and can't remember what they're called in the brain. Synapses. There we go. So when you do this, your intuition sends those tiny signals through your muscles, so small you don't even feel them, and the pendulum translates that signal into movement. Different swings can mean different things, okay? And I definitely did not mean to rhyme right there, but I did, and that was great. Back and forth is often a yes. There's a reason why I say often, okay? If y'all know me by now and have my webinars, I'm very intentional with my words because I want y'all to know, things for true. I'm not going to teach you something that's like based on myth or whatever. Anywho, side to side, often a no. Circles, this can mean energy is gathering. We're very unclear. We don't know what's going on. We need to rephrase. It's like a maybe too. You know what I mean? Diagonal swing. There can be deeper layers to that or more nuanced answers. Something else that we need to be asking here. And of course, we're also going to go over how your pendulum specifically likes to communicate. Because let me just tell you something. My pendulum is not going to swing for you exactly the same way. I'm a different person. This one is established with me and my energy already. So, but yeah, I'm not one of those people that'd be like, don't touch my pendulum or don't touch my cards. But anyhow, so the magic behind it, okay? It's not in the object. It's the connection. Yeah, it's the connection. You're the conduit. And also so is the pendulum. But it's you. You know what I mean? Your pendulum becomes a bridge between your conscious mind and your intuitive self. I love the pendulum so much because it's very cut and dry. It really has you not second guess your intuition. I mean, yeah, if you think you're getting the wrong answer, you're probably like, oh, do I need to answer a different or ask a different way or da 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 da? No, a pendulum is very cut and dry. Okay, so this is like really starting to trust your gut. It helps you to know, oh, this is the feeling that I had that da 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 in my energetic field when I asked this question. The pendulum gave me the answer that I already kind of knew also the answer to. Same thing that tarot does. Anyway, it helps you bypass overthinking and tap into clarity, alignment, and truth. It's gentle, accessible, and it's actually pretty fun to learn, which is why I love teaching it. But it's also another divination tool, and I love teaching all the things divination. Anyhow, this form of divination also helps you hone in on your natural intuitive abilities, like I said, allowing you to trust the self more. Just like the High Priestess card tells you all the other things that's in the card, yeah, all the things, but she mostly tells you trust yourself, trust your own counsel. So how energetic fields influence the pendulum? This is pretty cool, actually. So I have 3 of the pendulums that we were talking about here on a stand. So when I'm setting up to sell things, this spins. I'm not going to spin it right now because it will probably make everything delay. But they have stands that have a board underneath it, and it locks the pendulum into place. And it's hands-free. You let go. And now that's really trusting your intuition and the energy in the room and spirit and whatever else you want to call that. Sorry, I have to very carefully set that down because if I don't, everything is going to go toppling over and then it's not easily accessible anymore. Anyhow, so your pendulum is incredibly sensitive, not in a fragile way. Okay, well, some obviously are, depending on the crystal, but in a beautifully responsive way. Your personal energy field, but first and foremost, that's why I chose it to be number 1 on this section. It's going to pick up on this mostly: your emotions, your clarity, your stress level, okay, and intention. All create subtle shifts in your muscle and aura. The pendulum mirrors these shifts through movement. Now, one thing I will tell you as a little witchy tip, I like to give witchy tips when I'm doing all these webinars. It doesn't matter if you are making a spell jar, if you are lighting a candle for an intention, if you are drawing some cards with a question, your mood is going to be affecting the thing you're doing. Obviously, that makes sense, right? So if you are in a mad, angry mood and you're upset or whatever, and you're trying to do a love spell, I mean, that might not work out so well. You know what I'm saying? So that your mood and your energy is going to affect it totally 100%. Now, also the energy of the environment. A calm space, something like this is where I do all my Zoom readings from and webinars and all the things. Calm space creates smoother swings. Busy, chaotic spaces may create a wobbly or maybe even a slower response. It's not bad, just different, okay? A radio, the clearer the signal, the clearer the movement, right? The clearer the sound, the reception that we're getting is on there. Now, also, what else it's going to pick up on is your connection to the question, right? I keep rhyming. Clearly, this was not on purpose, guys. When you're aligned and grounded, though, the pendulum tends to move more clearly, okay? When you're unsure or emotionally tangled, the swing may be faint, circular, inconsistent, a sign to pause and recenter. That is definitely a need when you're doing something like this, especially if you're getting frustrated. You're asking the same question over and over again, and you're not really getting a clear answer. Maybe it's because we're not asking the right kind of question or the right wording. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because if you're trying to manifest something, let me tell you something, you are not going to manifest it if you are out here with some crazy words like I wish, I want, I need, blah, blah, blah. Because all that's going to be left when you're done is you wishing, wanting, and needing. Still not manifesting. So, anyway, another thing that's going to pick up on y'all, your intuitive flow. Okay. The reason why I say it like that is because I really want you guys to start really questioning, or not questioning, but stop questioning, actually, all of the things, your gut, the energy, the thing that you're feeling, the however you want to say it, you know what I mean? Stop questioning it so much. As soon as you start questioning that intuition and that thought, that first whatever, you done screwed it up. You know what I mean? You done lost it because you're going, and you didn't listen to the first time, you know what I mean? So as your intuition strengthens, which you will definitely see it do, it's just like a muscle. Okay, y'all, if you don't go to the gym or work it out, I know that sucks doing that, but if you don't do that, then it's not going to get any better. You know what I mean? Your pendulum often becomes more responsive. So do the tarot cards. You know what I'm saying? I mean, palm readings, things will start jumping out, and which we'll go over when we do the palmistry webinar, but things will start popping out to you just all of a sudden, especially if you are searching for the energy in the room with the pendulum, like ghosts and stuff like that. You'll start getting all kinds of stuff right in your third eye. So it's amazing. Like it says here, it's just like tuning a radio. The clearer the signal, the clearer the movement, and the clearer the sound. So at the heart of it, a pendulum does not create answers. It reveals them. Same as tarot. Same as all the other divination cards and the other divination ways. I mean, it works because your energy, your intuition, and your subconscious are always communicating. The pendulum simply gives that communication a visible form. So it's right there in your face. You know what I mean? There's no way, you have no choice but to listen to that. No choice but to feel it and trust it. So now we're going to go over myths. Yes, just like the cards and the tarot ones and the witchcraft and everything else, there's still myths with this, right? So myths about pendulum readings, pendulum uses. Pendulums are magical tools, yes, but they're also surrounded by a few myths that can make beginners nervous. So let's clear the air so everyone feels confident and empowered. Myth 1, the pendulum controls you. Okay, not at all. Please, my mama don't even control me, y'all. You are the one guiding the energy, okay? You're the one guiding the thing. Like I said, you're the conduit. You, the person, your intuition, your antenna to whatever you want to call it, spirit, God, into universe, all the things, the cards and the palms and the tea leaves and also the pendulums, they are just the tool for your conduit. It's the antenna. You know what I'm saying? It's the attachment to the antenna or the foil for us old school people who used to have foil on our antennas on the TV. When you put that on there, you get a much clearer picture, right? So that's the same thing. Not at all. Like I said, the pendulum is simply reflects what's already happening in your intuitive and energetic field. Myth number 2, spirit always moves the pendulum. Now, I do like to say that that's a myth, but at the same time, that does not mean that you can't still believe that, okay? Like even if you are saying that it's spirit moving through you or your ancestors or whatever spirit guides, there we go, that's the other thing, then so be it. Then that's the thing, and that's moving through you, and it's moving the pendulum too, if that, you know what I'm saying? So please don't take away in me say that she's gatekeeping and she's telling me that I'm not blah, blah, blah. I will never, ever, 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 ever tell you guys that. Nothing like that, I promise. So while some people use pendulums for spirit communication, meaning finding ghosts in places, yes, the majority of movements come from your own subconscious microsignals. Think of it as intuition speaking through motion, not something external taking over, because that's really what's not happening. This is not a Ouija board, okay? And by the way, yes, I am a divination witch. Yes, I see spirits and talk to ghosts and all kinds of the things, but you get a Ouija board out and I'm running the opposite direction and telling you goodbye, don't ever talk to me again. So, myth number 3, if it swings differently one day, something is wrong. No, not at all. Your energy shifts daily. And if you're anything like me, your energy shifts often throughout the day as well, a few different times. Your emotional state, your environment, even your hydration. Yes, your hydration can subtly change how your pendulum responds. It's normal and natural. If you have ever been pregnant, then you call the doctor's office lots of times and say, I have this wrong or something's wrong. They'll tell you for everything. Drink some water. Have you drank any water? But yeah, you definitely need to hydrate for sure. Myth number 4. I should have this one be number 1 because I feel like this is the biggest one. You must be psychic for it to work. No. I also don't consider everybody who reads tarot and who are things like that necessarily psychic. A lot of them are. But psychic is a very strong word, right? It means quite a different thing. Pendulums do not require special powers. Okay. They're tools that help everyone access their inner knowing, whether you're brand new or deeply experienced. Okay. Now, this is one of my favorite parts. Choosing and connecting with your pendulum. All right. If you had gotten the kit, then the pendulum and the board that I sent you guys were definitely intuitively chosen. I tried really hard to send you ones that I think that you would like. I know there was only one person that said that they didn't really like the animal that was on there, and I hope you're watching now, because the reason actually that I sent you that one was because what that animal represents, which is transformation and shedding things that are no longer serving us. And I kind of felt like that was a good thing for you. And I know if you're watching this and you know who it is that I'm talking to. So I hope you send me a message later and change your mind about not liking the one they got. But anywho, I tried really, really hard to send you guys ones that I thought that you would like. I know that Trisha, luckily, the head witch in charge there, luckily the one I chose for her happens to be one of her favorite crystals and colors. So I was like, shoo, thank goodness. So anyway, when you are ready to choose your own pendulum, which one you're going to get, if you didn't get the kit, like I said, and have it intuitively chosen for you, you might want to think about the feel, the weight, the energy, or the intention that you want to receive or put into or put out or whatever. What kind of crystal or charm you want or don't want on it. You know what I mean? This way, the idea of what you're looking for is fresh in your mind. Some folks will go to a shop and wait for one to call to them. That's kind of what I did for my first one. And the one that I ended up choosing was a resin one, which I'm kind of glad that I chose that to begin with, because it really helped me hone in on my intuition skills. But anywho, then others will scan the internet until they find one they like. For folks starting out, I like to lean them towards the resin, like I said here, because in the very beginning, it is due to the fact that it's so lightweight and it swings very easily. And the reason that I like you guys to use one that swings really easily is not just because mostly because you get to see how it swings more so. You know what I mean? If you start with a real heavy pendulum, it might not move as much. And so that can kind of be discerning or discouraging. There we go. And I wouldn't want, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want you to get something and be like, oh, this isn't, I don't like it. It didn't work, or it's BS or whatever. So that's kind of why I like for people to start with a resin one. But this is just like all the other things that we talk about when it's in the craft. This is for you and your own. So it's totally for you to establish what you like and what you don't like. So where'd it go? Oh yeah. This allows the user to practice being calm. Having a resin pendulum, by the way, it allows the user to practice being calm and centered during use, or else your pendulum will react to your stress and anxiety and swing extra. So that makes a big difference. Connecting with your new pendulum can look a lot like what we taught in the tarot webinar if you were there. Sit with it, hold it, play with it, look at it. These are great ways to continue your connecting with the pendulum. You will want to get acquainted with it, by the way. Like if you were meeting a new friend, it will become an extension of you and your intuition. Start asking it silly things like, should I make chicken or steak for dinner? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it only because it really allows you to continue that establishment of connection. And then you're really, really honing in on not second guessing on how that swing was. Is it this way? Was it that way? You know what I'm saying? So, one surefire way to establish the connection, meditate with it. That's my favorite way, actually. So if I've got new tarot deck, what I do is I will sit and cleanse it and meditate with it. I'll sit with it and look at all the cards and stuff while I'm sitting at, in my chair watching TV or Real Housewives. But when I'm with a pendulum, I meditate with it, carry it around in my pocket during the day when I'm at home. I'm not go out because, I don't want to drop it or get negative Walmart energy on it. God forbid. But you see what I'm saying? Like I always have it with me. And then, like I said, I ask it all kinds of questions all the time, silly things, just so I can become more and more acquainted with it. So, what did I say? Oh, then ask it clear yes or no questions just to see which way it flows. Okay, which we're going to go over more in a little bit later and why it's so important. So, charms and crystals. If y'all know me, I am a crystal enthusiast. Love me some crystals. Love working with them, wearing them. Obviously, you see a little bit of tiny bit of my collection here. And that, of course, is extended into the pendulums for me. So, as most of you already know, crystals help to raise the vibration and intention that we're putting forth. That sounded so fancy. You know what I mean? Told you thrice. Best crystals to increase intuition and add protection. First and foremost, black obsidian. Of course, that's going to be one of my absolute favorites for protection to use for a pendulum. It's beautiful for one, and it's one of the strongest in protection and grounding. Black tourmaline is, of course, another one, but it's so not necessarily flaky, but it breaks easily, and it's kind of hard to tumble, which of course you can get them tumbled, but I just like to go black obsidian for that. Amethyst, that's my favorite crystal. Intuition, stress and anxiety relief too. So that's also a great pendulum choice because it's a double duty right there. Not only does it help boost your intuition and it's for the third eye chakra, but it also helps to induce a calm, chill vibe. You know what I mean? Clear quartz, that's your amplifier. Clear mind, crown chakra. Pretty sure it's like an all chakras crystal too. You know what I mean? Lapis lazuli. Of course, that's for your throat chakra and spirit communication for ghosts and whatnot. That is also one of the best crystals for actual communication, of course, because it's for your throat chakra. But mine, inside here, inside the center, which you might not be able to see very well, is lapis lazuli chips. So, and then of course you see the clear quartz point at the bottom on the top of the pendulum, and then I've got a little silver charm at the top. So anywho, then another good one, but of course this one is a lot like the black tourmaline, the selenite, does flake off and is hard to tumble. So, but people do make them, and that's great for intuition and a clear aura. So, charms. Y'all know about charms. I always be adding charms to my everything. Witches bells, if you've gotten those from me. I love adding certain charms, especially because, like it says on here, charms also add to our magic. Adding certain symbols and charms to our items help to raise its intention and its vibrations too. Adding a touch of magic to whatever it is that we're doing. You can use charms with symbols for deities, runes, protection, religions, anything you want to add to make it yours. And if you've gotten also some of the mystery boxes, then I have something happening in there, some of them with some lovely charmed items with charms and actual charming. And with these two, you can speak your spells into them. You know what I'm saying? You can charm them just as you would do like a little item for like a talisman or protection. So where to go here? Anything you want to add to make it yours. Pentagrams are great symbols of the craft and protection. Runes are also a great way to add protection sigil to your divination. Oh, by the way, witch tip. if you have like a body oil or something like that, you can put a rune of protection on your arm with your roll-on or something like that, or on your finger with your body oil or your perfume. Draw a rune or a pentagram on your arm. No one knows it's there, and now you have a symbol of protection to walk you through Walmart, so you're not, getting everybody's crappy vibes, because everybody needs protection at Walmart. And if you live in my area, we call our Walmart Fight Club. It's literally been on the show Ridiculousness. And I am not saying this proudly, by the way. I am not boasting in any way, shape, or form, y'all. I'm very like, oh my God, yeah, that's our Walmart. Okay. So anywho, symbols like the lotus flower can bring enlightenment, etc. I don't know if you know much about the lotus flower, but when it's closed, that means we are starting our enlightenment journey, the spiritual journey. And then when it is all open, it symbolizes pure enlightenment, and it also symbolizes growth through a lot of hard things. That lotus flower grows through some crazy things to get to be so big and beautiful. So anywho, just as I have said in all of our past webinars, your magic in practice is your own, so make it fit for you. Now, I included a few runes, and by the way, the one I think it is in the bottom middle, please do not quote me on this, is a protection one. Anywho, these are the Nordic runes. And then, of course, I showed you the pentagram. We all know about the pentagram. Then the tricerta. This is a Celtic symbol. I have that tattooed on me. And then, of course, we have a Celtic cross. I wanted to include that as well because, different religions for different folks, and whatever strokes, different religious strokes for different folks, or however you say that, I don't know. But it can be a symbol for protection for some people, or whatever. And then I also included other common symbols from the zodiac and the different planets, which you will see a lot of these coming up in a webinar that we have not yet scheduled. So, cleansing and preparing. Okay, this is one of my favorite things to do because it does a few things at once. Not only are we cleansing it and preparing it for what we're using it for, this is also another way of connecting with it. We're charging it, getting it ready for us. So if you have taken my webinars before, then you can most likely guess correctly on my favorite ways to cleanse items and your space. Sound and smoke. You can sing, you can do whatever. I also like to add in other ways of cleansing as well, just so that my OCD self will know that I covered all the bases. Because if I don't, I am literally in my head going, okay, but we didn't smoke it, we didn't spray it, we didn't sing to it. Anyhow, best ways to cleanse and prep. Sound, chimes, sound bowls, bells, keys, music, etc. I love singing to my things. I also, if I'm doing like a baneful thing or like a return to sender, by the end of me doing my 3 times thing of the return to sender, I am practically yelling it. So, smoke, Palo Santo, sages, herbs, incense. One of my other favorite ways to, especially if you're cleansing a bunch of things, like all of your divination things and yourself and whatever, I like to get a handy dandy, this one is about 6 inches, cast iron cauldron. And then you put in the bottom of it, you're going to get a charcoal disc, put it down in there, and have all your herbs and stuff ready in smaller pieces. These are too big to just light on the thing. You know what I mean? I just have these in here for example so you can see them. But you get my gist. You light it like that, and it provides enough smoke. You can just set it in front of you and hold the stuff over it. You know what I mean? Waft it around with your hands or with a feather. So water, Florida water or other cleansing waters, running water or a stream. Of course, I have to add the disclaimer, make sure not to get the chain wet and know the composition of your material so not to ruin your new divination tool. I would hate for you to have a type of crystal that would dissolve in water or rust your chain or something like that. So if you can always, something that I do, I have a little spray bottle. I have a smaller one for in my car for when I go to Walmart because I also, I just can't. In the spray bottle, I have a crystal, I have some regular Florida water, and then I have a spiritual cleanse water, which also has sage essential oils, Palo Santo oil, sandalwood, really just to kind of smell a little bit better, and some lavender. And I shake it up and then kind of spray way over and away from it. You know what I mean? Just so that like it's not saturating the things, but it still gets the job done. Another great way to charge you and your things. Moonlight. Can't wait for the summer because I am so going to be charging myself out there in the moonlight, okay? Full moon. Also like the disclaimer for the water, so use caution for rain and dew and etc. Selenite. Lay it on top. If you have one like this, you can just, I'm not going to let go of it because it will fall, but lay it on top like that and let it sit overnight or in the windowsill. If you have cats, then you might want to make sure, you know, it's in a place where they can't get to, which is not very many places. Yeah. So here I went ahead and added a few different things. Incense. I really like to use moldavite incense. I don't know if you guys know about moldavite, the crystal. It's very rare. Well, it's not that rare that's, you know, people get it, but it's super, you know, strong and spirit connection and openness and things like that. They also turn it into an incense and it smells really, really, really good. But I do take caution. Don't light that incense if you are in your house because it's very strong. Then in the middle, this person is actually using a pendulum, which I'm going to explain to you why and how in just a moment, over somebody's chakras. Then next to that, we have some moon water. It's supposed to be moon water. And then we have a bunch of different herbs drying in the summer and in the fall. When you come to my kitchen, I have herbs and dead flowers and stuff hanging all over the place in my kitchen drying. It's amazing. I look like a cottage witch for sure. And then I have somebody playing sound bowls outside. So now, establishing the yes, no, maybe, okay? Because you kind of have to do that, right? Like I said in the beginning, not all pendulums swing the exact same. My pendulum swinging is not necessarily going to be the same for your, excuse me, I keep burping, I'm so rude. Now that we have chosen, connected, cleansed, and charged our pendulums, it is time to establish what that yes, no, and maybe looks like with your specific pendulum. Okay, it will respond to your energy, your nervous system, your subtle body, and your intuition. Because no two people have the same energetic signature, not even twins, the pendulum won't move the exact same for everyone. Yeah, of course, because there are so many people in the world, there's gonna be a lot of them that have the this way, yes, and the you get my gist, but it's not exactly all the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So your pendulum is syncing with your energy, not mine. So your yes might be a circle while someone else's is a straight line. Adjust your board once you have established a direction. It's kind of like learning the dance. It learns your energy while you learn its movements. One thing that I definitely do is I used to have a tarot altar cloth, basically, and it had like squares that you know, well, not squares, rectangles, this the shape of cards that you could lay out for different spreads. And in the center, it had a circle that said yes, no, maybe. And I always wondered about that. And I'm like, I can't really adjust the altar cloth because then it's like cockeyed, you know what I mean? So it looks weird. But anywho, if you look closely on here, maybe I'll show you the white side because you can see it better. There are different places all around the board where it says yes, and then across from the same spot, it will say yes. And I might not have pointed to the same spot, but yes, yes, try again. Wrong again. No, I love that it also gives you a rephrase and an unknown because not all boards will tell you that. And then you have a board like mine. Actually, the board that I first had was very similar to the one that was in the picture for the Pendulum Pathways event, but it broke. So I have this one now. Yay! But yeah, around the edges are all the different moon phases plus the fertility goddess. And then of course it says yes, unsure, no, rephrase, and then repeats that all the way around. This one is not reversible, but it is a bit bigger than the 4-inch one. The 4-inch one is also great because you can take it with you. to go somewhere. So let's see, where do we go? Oh, okay. You will want to hold your pendulum in your dominant hand. I'm right-handed. I use my right hand. Now, when I was a server, I carried my trays with my left hand. I feel like my left hand is a little more shaky. I don't draw with my left hand, so I'm going to use my right. With your elbow resting comfortably. I know you can't see my elbow on the table, but this is the time when the manners kind of goes out the window. Elbows not have to be, because if you're walking around doing the energy thing, but this is a great way to start. Having your elbow rested allows the rest of your arm to feel rested. To not say all that again, that was a lot of redundance, but you get what I'm saying there. Staring at your pendulum, begin asking very simple questions that you know it will be the answer to, like, are you a pendulum, etc. I know that might sound silly, but it's very cut and dry. You know what I'm saying? Once you've established that it answers you, start asking it which way is yes, which way is no, what does maybe look like. This is also a perfect time for us to do just that. I encourage you to grab your pendulums, ask it how it swings for the answers, and put it in the chat. I would love to see how yours works for you. This is going to be the first part of the interactive thing, by the way. So if you keep getting a maybe, try asking again, but with different wording. It helps you be as clear as possible with your words. So go ahead, guys. I'm not going to stop sharing my screen, but I want you guys to go ahead and take a moment, if you do have your pendulums by you, and ask it. Ask it the simple questions. Are you a pendulum? Which way is yes? Is it swinging on its own? You want it to swing on its own. Let me give you a little tip too, by the way, on holding it. So you don't have to hold it like this either, by the way. This is just an idea or an option. Hold it however you want. Some people will hold it like this with their, like pinching with their their forefinger and their thumb. There we go. Can't even think of the own word for my fingers. Like these things, these two phalanges. No, I'm not born from the East Coast either. Sometimes the East Coast comes out of me. What I do when I'm holding my pendulum, and I'll hold this one, is I drape it. Okay, well, first of all, I put it over my middle finger and in between my middle and my index finger until the charm or ball or whatever it is that you have stops, right? And I hold it like that. Of course, now I'm going to have my elbow on the table, but if I do that, you won't be able to see me hold it. But the reason why I hold it like this is a few reasons. Having it in between the two fingers like that, the chain, kind of keeps it stationary, a little more stationary. You know what I mean? It gives it more stability. And having it draped over your finger like that, now it's really feeling your energy. Having it be the center of your two fingers where the chain is going through, the middle and the ring finger, that's the line to your heart, by the way, especially if you have it on the left hand. That's the center, definitely line to your heart. But it's going to pick up on all the things. Holding it just like that, steady, and you're going to want to wait till it stops swinging. It's not going to stop swinging at this moment because I'm talking and I'm moving my arm up and down, but you get my gist. Hold it like that. Wait till it stops and then start asking your questions. And you can hold it however you want. Like I said, it's, to each their own. If you have all of your things, if you have it clasped like this, then your hand is definitely influencing all the things. So you really want to have as little hold of the chain as possible, if that makes sense, but firm enough that it's not slipping or loose. So now, real quick, we're going to go over the board. Okay. I know we talked about it a little bit, but using your board. If you got the kit, then you would have received the 4-inch reversible board, like I said, and it has the yes, no, maybe, and of course, designs in the middle. Some boards also have letters for spelling things out. Not to be confused with a Ouija board. Okay, way different. That has a planchet, and that is a doorway. Okay, I don't know if anybody ever tells you anything. What it says and who it says you were talking to. Okay, so close it out if you do. do the Ouija board. But anywho, with this, you don't necessarily have to. Sometimes when you're done doing divination things, you want to kind of ground and cleanse yourself just because it can be a little draining and you can kind of collect a lot of the things. So once you know the way of the swing, you can lay your board underneath it accordingly. Don't worry if it looks off center. If it is there to lay, it is to lay there to match the swing so that your answer is shown more clearly. Sorry, guys, my dyslexia was really popping out there. I need to tuck that back in. Hold your arm over with the pendulum directly over the center, whichever direction, by the way. Once you've established the swing and you've turned your thing, hold it over the very center. Don't worry if it looks off center. It is there to lay the match swing, like I said, so that your answer is shown more clearly. Hold your arm over with the pendulum directly over the center and begin. Now you're ready to start asking your questions.
Hey,
You
Tam,
want to hold your
Patty was just asking how close you should be holding it to the board. Is there like a certain height where the pendulum should hang, or can it be higher or lower?
I would definitely go about 2 to 4 inches, maybe up to 6 inches above. I wouldn't go too much more above because then it's going to look like it's going to another answer. Does that make sense? And if you go too close, you don't want it to touch because then you can influence the way it's going. So, like I already told you, you want to hold it in your dominant hand with your elbow resting comfortably on the table. Wait till it stops swinging. Stare at your pendulum and you begin asking, are you a pendulum? All of those things. So, oh yeah, I did say this already. If you keep getting a maybe, then, do that. So every day in spiritual uses, there are many different uses for the pendulum. It doesn't matter if you're choosing a crystal, checking the energy of the room, looking for ghosts, trying to decide on dinner, or I didn't put that in there, or enhancing your tarot readings. There are many different reasons and uses for such a tool. I personally know a Reiki master that uses hers to find the energy blockages and the chakras so that she knows where to concentrate the healing energy more. And that's why I put the picture in that, by the way, with someone using a crystal pendulum over there. She buys the pendulums for me. She has me, tells me what she wants, what she's looking for, what crystal, what charms and stuff like that. And then I make her one and she uses it in her practice. So it's awesome. So some folks use theirs to speak with their ancestors or guides, using the pendulum as the conduit, or rather the tool of the conduit, just like your magic and the practice of your craft. It's all for you to figure out on how you want to go about it. So we're going to go ahead and try to hurry up because I want to get to a little closing ceremony. I'm going to play the bowls for us and let us have like a moment of calm and clarity. So this is the thing that we're going to do, the interactive moment. Grab your pendulums. I'm going to ask a question and I want everybody to watch the pendulum and the way that it swings and put your answer in the chat. I'm also going to hold my pendulum as well, but I'm not going to show you because I don't want to influence the way you see mine swing as well. But I want you guys to put your answer in the chat if you want to. So I would love to see how many of them swing the same and get the same answer and vice versa. So I'm going to stay on this. Okay, so I'm going to choose my pendulum here. Okay, our question is, where'd it go? Oh yes. Is the energy in the space clear? Got mine. Y'all got yours? Okay. Is now a good time for this group to learn pendulum work? That was an absolute definitive answer. Show me clarity. I don't know about y'all, but mine wasn't very clear. And y'all know why, right? I'm sure you can tell me why that last one wasn't clear. My question wasn't clear. It said, show me clarity. Girl, that ain't even a question. The point of that was to see the difference between an obvious answer that we would definitely get a yes for, right? How many of y'all got yes for the first one? Okay. Same thing. You know what I mean? I obviously got yes for the first one. And I obviously got a definite yes. As soon as I asked the second question, which was, is now a good time for this group to learn pendulum work? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. Now what we're going to do is a little bit of a grounding exercise. Okay. So that way we can get to questions because I'm pretty sure we're coming up on 10 minutes now. So what I want to do, and you don't have to do this, by the way, if you don't want to, you can just sit and listen, but we're going to breathe and we're going to have a few little grounding moments. Take a few deep breaths. I'm going to play a couple of the bowls, of course, for maybe 2 or 3 minutes and give us a little bit of a chill time, relaxation, cleanse the air. Let me know if you can hear this. Thumbs up. Cool. When I start playing the bowl, take a deep breath in. Breathe those vibrations into your body. And when you exhale, release energy that is no longer serving you. Feel the vibrations going into your heart space. Visualize your roots around your body, sinking down into the ground. Gently and firmly. Grounding your energy into the earth. Deep breath in. Release. Now, one great thing I like to do at the end of this is kind of move my hands over the body, like in your auric field, and that just kind of brushes off the rest of the stagnant energy. You know what I'm saying? You might look like a silly person doing it, but you got to fluff that energy around you. You know what I mean? So now, closing statements, of course. Obviously, thank you all so much for being here tonight, whether you joined me live or you're watching the replay later. Your presence, your curiosity, and your energy truly mean the world to me. I'm grateful we could share this space together. So if you ever feel called to go deeper, remember you can always book a Zoom reading with me. I love connecting one-on-one and helping you navigate whatever your spirit is moving through. So we have some more awesome things coming up, okay? June 7th from 3 to 4:30. Palmistry webinar. Yep, it's a $5 one, but being that it's an hour and a half one and it's another deep dive into a divination, and it's a lot of information to learn too, by the way. It is $5, but you also will get a free multi-page PDF download packed with reference material. So if you would like, by the way, these slides, just let me know via email, tarotwithtam@gmail.com, and I'll send them to you. And all these links will be right there digitally. So you'd be able to sign up for the palmistry webinar and all the things. Plus, I'm going to be doing a special giveaway during that class, the palmistry webinar. One lucky person will receive a full palm reading and analysis, which is normally $50 value. And that's not currently listed right now on Witchsey from me, or it's not available to the public either yet. So it will be an exclusive opportunity only for those who attend. On June 19th from 7 to 8, we're going to have our free abundance jar webinar. I freaking love doing jars, yo. It doesn't matter what the intention is for. It is a free webinar, but if you want the kit, it's $20 kit. You get everything. But all the ingredients are listed too. So I'm not gatekeeping any of the ingredients, guys. You can get them on your own, or you can get the kit there. You even get a little wax melt pelts and things to melt the things on it, spoon and all. So there's the link for the kit. And then on June 22nd from 7 to 8, our free summer solstice sound bath. And I know somebody named Trisha who is dying, and Patty too, dying to do this. I can't wait. I'm hoping for good weather because I'm going to do it outside too. So not only are we going to get the lovely vibes from the sound bowls, but also hopefully hear some bugs and birds. So that would be great. So join with that link down there. Come immerse yourself in the vibrations of the bowls as I gently guide you through grounding, centering, and welcoming Just kidding. I just had to be funny there. So, with me, your energies and all of that. Did it stop sharing my screen? There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay!
Yeah. Thanks everyone. That was fun. Thank you so much. I'd love to like dig in a little bit more on that, where maybe we could like ask some questions and really, kind of deeper dive into the pendulum. I think that would be a lot of fun. I put a link to the calendar of events. So bunch of events with Tam coming up. Granny the Swamp Witch has an awesome event coming up. Gothic Raven Jewelry has one coming up, and we're getting ready to add the second Women's Shadow Circle on Burnout. So that's coming up in June as well. So check out the calendar events, sign up. I also put the link to the palmistry. So if you want to get your $5 ticket, and then I'll email you after for the registration link that's unique to your email. You can certainly do that. And I want to thank you all so, so much. Tam is headed to a huge event, psychic fair this weekend. So Sunday she ought to be good and exhausted and ready to sleep the whole week away. And then we are actually going on a little getaway next week. We are headed to Alaska. We need some reset and regrounding time, Witchsey and the two sisters. So we're going to be doing that. So we'll be posting some of our very cool content and all the cool things that we see in Alaska. We'll be sharing a lot of that stuff with you guys on our Facebook page. So stay tuned for that and all the great things coming up. And again, thank you so much always for your support of Witchsey, of Tam, of all of our great vendors. And we will see you guys all at the next one.
Bye.
Great night.